is Sadie. I think she
Shout out to the Relaxed Movement on YouTube with these banger copyright-free background music. Pretty sick. In fact, I might even let it play out a little bit longer. It's just so relaxing, you know. Give it the background, but not too loud. So, hopefully you guys are doing well this fine, beautiful Saturday morning. I know I am, you know. It is a is going to be nice today, and it has in fact been nice this whole week, outside at least. So, yeah, it's pretty sick out there right now. Probably gonna go outside later. Maybe I'll touch some grass. I don't know. We'll see how that pans out. Hold on one sec. Yeah, so we have some stuff to discuss today. I would say a couple of things, maybe a little bit of some things. Meanwhile, I'm drinking this drink over here, which has 9% alcohol, and it's 8:45, so pretty sick. It's a little too sweet, though. It's watermelon my god. Excuse me. It's watermelon flavor, so it might be a little too sweet on account of that. Regardless, I suppose let's get into the first thing. And that would be, I don't even know. I actually have no idea. Oh, you know what? I did see this, though. Well, I saw it without any audio. And I am becoming more and more convinced by the day that, conservatives are just, like, disturbingly obsessed with Dylan Mulvaney. Now, if you don't know who this is, she is a like a theater person, actor, actress, whatever, who was recently contracted to provide, for a marketing campaign for Budweiser and some other company. I think Busch. It was another beer company. Now, we're going to get into that in a little bit, but the first thing I'd like to look at here is just to analyze the psychology behind what is it that makes somebody obsessed to the point where they will do wacky, weird things in public. Now, I saw this on Twitter, and this kind of underpins that kind of thing that I'm describing here. Let me show you. So let me pull it up. All right, there it is, and then hopefully my face pops up. There it is. All right, so James O'Keefe. Don't know who that is. I think I've heard his name before. Wait, a guerrilla journalist? CEO of O'Keefe Media. Okay, now I'm interested. James O. Okay, well that kind of explains a lot, huh? When his videos heavily edited and portrayed Acorn workers. Oh, so they're okay. Got it. A far-right activist group. Okay, cool. So he's just a far-right person, which is not surprising. considering Project Veritas and their reputation. Okay, with that in mind, and with the well sufficiently poisoned, let's take a look into this video. Let me make sure all the audio is good. It looks like it is. Okay.
I'm James O'Keefe with OMG News outside the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. Dylan Mulvaney is inside the women's restroom right now, so I'm going to ask him for comment about our story regarding women being raped in prison by men claiming to be transgender. Here.
So, man, there's a lot to analyze with this intro. So, first off, how was... Now, I don't know for sure, but, like, how the fuck did this guy find Dylan? Like, I highly doubt she would want her, like, location known. I just don't understand, like, how he found it. Like, maybe it's public, and like, maybe he found her through some website or something, like, whatever. But, like, the fact that, like, you need to go through some hoops here to, like, track down somebody is a little odd to me. You know, it's somebody who, by the way, is simply just like an actress who is doing a marketing campaign for different beer companies. Like, okay. It's just weird to feel the need to do that, you know, to like go out of your way to like research where they're gonna be or where they're staying. Also, the framing here that you're here because Dylan Mulvaney's in the women's restroom, and like how do you even know that he's standing out here? Okay, there's a lot. Okay, I don't want to get too bogged down here.
Prison by men claiming to be transgender. Here we go. Dylan, this is James O'Keefe, OMG. Women are being raped in a prison in Washington State by men claiming to be transgender. There's footage of them talking about the rape. Do you have a comment on the story here of the women being raped by the men claiming to be transgender? James O'Keefe, OMG News. What do you think about the women who are being raped by the men who are transgender? Do you have a comment about that?
Please don't come in the elevator.
What do you think about, what is your comment to the women who are being raped by men claiming to be transgender, Dylan? So we're here with Dylan. All right.
Wait, what happened? Uh-oh, the video's buffering. The deep state's targeting this video, trying to conceal the truth here. I think we kind of get the gist of what's happening anyway. Let's see.
OMG News outside the Four Seasons Hotel.
I've been having some playback
Beverly
issues. I've
Hills.
noticed. Maybe it'll work. Hopefully it will. That's really odd. But anyway, yeah, so basically he comes in and, you know, harasses Dylan, and presumably under the guise of wanting to get her opinion on women being raped in prison, like, by transgender people. I think that, first off, the rates of rape that take place against transgender people is disproportionate relative to straight women or cisgender women, but if they're placed in men's prisons. But regardless of that fact, it's just like, what the fuck? This is not being conducted for the sake of advancing any kind of journalistic, you know, integrity or understanding sincerely Dylan's perspective on this. It's mainly, you know, for bait. You know, it's mainly specifically for getting a viral clip out there, so that way, you know, all these conservatives can run with this and retweet, all so on and so forth. Considering the fact that also this guy's far right, I'm not surprised. But this isn't like journalism, you know.
News outside the Four Seasons Hotel in
yeah.
Beverly.
I hope I can get some of it here. That's odd. I don't know. I think we kind of understand though what's going on. But yeah, you know. Anyway, very stupid to go in here assuming that you're actually conducting journalism. What this by no means is within that definition. This is simply harassment. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to make it work for some reason. But that's okay. We don't really need to subject ourselves to this torture. I think we understand that this is motivated primarily out of getting a viral clip instead of like actually getting Dylan's perspective. But yeah, anyway, what are you going to do? That leads me into the next thing pretty naturally. In fact, let me go ahead, pull up what I would like to pull up. Let's see. Got a couple things to pull up actually. Actually, hold on, let me just... But yeah, I'm sure everybody's looking this up. Why can't I just get a simple graph? Oh shit. I'm gonna have to change the title of the stream because I'm stupid. So apparently it's not like... Pardon me for not understanding beer companies, but... No, I actually don't have to change the title, never mind. I was under the impression that Busch and Budweiser were operated by different companies, but apparently not. This might be a little misleading. Where can I just find a simple fucking thing, dude? Seriously. I guess this is the closest I will get. And this website is not user-friendly. Let's just look at 1 year. Okay, that's good. That works for me. Okay, we got that. All right, sorry about the delay here. So, okay, let me take a sip first. Okay, so... Okay, again, with Dylan Mulvaney, you know, as I mentioned before already, she has represented Budweiser in this recent marketing campaign. She did a ad with her in a bath, and she also did another ad somewhere else. She actually, and now that I think about it, she has done another ad with Night. Great. So she has done ads with these different companies, and conservatives are very upset by this because they don't like the fact that a company is normalizing trans people. So they are going by the mantra that they always go by with when they try to utilize the dynamics of the free marketplace, and that is using the slogan or the mantra of "Go woke, go broke." Basically, meaning that if you advance or represent in any way the ideals of progressivism, then you will we will boycott your products and you will go broke. Apparently, this is yet to materialize in reality. Most of the time, and most Americans just don't give a fuck about the fact that a trans person was represented in somebody's ad campaign. Like, okay, because at the end of the day, it's more so the quality of the product as opposed to the marketing attached to it. I'm sure the marketing plays a role to some extent, but broadly speaking, I think most Americans and consumers broadly just care more about the quality of said product or service. With that being said, I would like to highlight very quickly just what I mean when I say outrage. So Tim Pool, who is a conservative, is I guess broadcasting the fact that he thinks, or he's telling his audience rather, that they shouldn't buy or don't buy Bush products. Amazing. I'm sorry, I forgot. I for a minute I forgot I posted that. Yeah, yeah. So the stock market price of Bush, right, or the parent company of Budweiser. Let's go to a year. Actually, no. Let's go to the past 3 months. All right. Actually, you know what? Let's go. Yeah, this trend still illustrates what I'm looking for, but let's just go to a 6 month to smooth that a little bit. So, like as you can see, the trend has appeared upward, right? It's being carried heavily by late 2022 here, but yeah, the trend here has been going up. And you see this little dip here. I don't know if that times with when like Dylan did the ad campaign. I don't think it was, because this says 4/12, and she certainly did it like earlier than that, right? A couple weeks before. And the stock market price was continuing to go up. Maybe there's some inertia that I'm not accounting for, but regardless, the stock market price has basically remained stable, and if anything, has continued to grow. This is failing to, like, again, materialize, and also with Nike, because Dylan was doing an ad campaign, I guess, for Nike as well. The stock and market price for that, supposedly, let's go 6 months, keep it consistent here, seems to be again an upward trend. There's a huge bump here, in fact, with the stock market price between November 9th and the 11th. Interestingly enough, I don't know what caused that. I mean, that's a big dip, or big increase, and then big dip. But regardless, the trend has remained upward, and at worst, we could say that it is like remaining consistent. But this boycott of sorts, I guess, from conservatives is not really working, and like again, just demonstrates once more just the fact that many Americans don't actually give a fuck about Dylan Mulvaney, or rather, the fact that these companies chose to include Dylan Mulvaney in their ad campaigns. Like, they don't actually care, and most reasonable people wouldn't. I think that for the most part, it's more incumbent, or not incumbent, I'm using the wrong word. It like makes more sense that like somebody would be motivated to buy or not buy a product based upon whether the quality of which is good or not. Also, I feel like a lot of people just buy shit and they get into that routine of buying the same kind of like, products or whatever, that they just don't want to deviate from that because it creates a sense of normalcy. So there are some other irrational variables playing into why consumers make the decisions they make in the economy. So I really doubt, and it has yet to be proven, that consumer choices are going to be, like, the needle is going to be moved by the fact that Dylan Mulvaney was represented in an ad campaign. Like, that's ridiculous. But furthermore, obviously, I mean, like, this is transphobic, obviously, because they don't like the representation of trans people in media broadly. You have Matt Walsh here, who supposedly, I guess, takes major issue with Dylan. I mean, he tweets about her a lot, actually. I don't even want to give Daily Wire my view there, but yeah, the Bud Light boycott has been. Wait, hold on. No way is he doing this. The Bud Light boycott has been far one of the most successful conservative efforts to push back against the corporate wokeism we've ever seen. Source on that? What? Wait, success in what regard? How are you measuring the success in this instance? This is a shocking statement to make. Even as a conservative, you cannot possibly look at this and believe that you are winning in the culture war. Like, or I guess this representation of culture war. Are you kidding me? This is, oh my God. Wait, and then he goes on to say, be very wary of any conservative who's naysaying this. We're actually making a dent. You're actually not. You're actually not. Like, look at the stock market price. It has remained consistent, and at worst this is remaining consistent, right? But even if I were to somehow grant you the fact that the stock market price is decreasing, and it is at all really, this is statistically insignificant. Look at the difference in stock market prices. 64. That was 2 days ago. That was a day ago. So $64, right? And then whenever Dylan did the ad campaign, let's just say it was $320, I don't know, $60. So it's actually gone up. Actually, no, it is gone up since that. This is outlandish, absolutely outlandish. And by the way, if they're touting out that this is like has been by far one of the most successful conservative efforts, that is quite the low bar they're setting. And apparently, the parent company of Budweiser had released a statement basically saying a bunch of shit that doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is this paragraph here. We never intend to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. So, this statement won't satisfy the conservative customers because there's... Wait, hold on. Hold on. I have to read this. I have to read his analysis here. The statement won't satisfy the conservative customers because there is no apology or acknowledgement of wrong. Because they didn't do anything wrong. What did they do wrong here? There's literally nothing that was... Okay. And it won't satisfy the left because it doesn't affirm transgenderism. Actually, I am just... You know what? I'm probably more enticed to try beer nowadays because it makes you guys mad. So if anything, this does the opposite. Wait, and how does this not... Wait, hold on. This statement is a bunch of word salad, I will admit. But the reason why I would buy a Busch product, I guess, which I don't drink beer, by the way, but if I would feel more inclined to just out of spitefulness, just because it makes you fuckers mad. They had a few options in dealing with the PR crisis. Out of all the options, they chose one of the biggest downsides and no upside. Coming from Matt Walsh, a known genius of PR and marketing. Anyway, the boycott's long. I mean, like, this is literally just the most innocent, non-controversial statement ever made by a company, probably. There's nothing here that could, like, there's no language employed here or implied that could have possibly ruffled anybody's feathers, unless you already were staunchly in one camp or another. Like, if you're this like only would piss off the far right, really, like really, because like they're not disavowing 100%, transgender people or something. Keep in mind, all of this is spurred on account of the representation of Dylan Mulvaney in within one of their within their ad campaign. All of this, they're trying to cancel a company. By the way, coming from the same ideology that always bitches and moans about cancellation, they're trying to do the exact same thing in this instance. Remarkable. Now, I don't think that boycotts are inherently like bad or anything. If you believe in something, but like this is like believing in something that's cruel to me. To me, it is, because like there's nothing. Again, this is so obvious, but like apparently it has to be said. There's nothing wrong with like being transgender, and there's nothing wrong with representing trans people within media. However, the far right believes there is a problem because it disrupts the nuclear household, it disrupts traditional gender roles, so on and so forth. So, on account of all that, they're the ones who would take issue with that. But I mean, evidently, by your average, American, this is evidently not the case. Both by the stock prices of Bush as well as Nike, in fact. They haven't really talked about Nike that I am aware of. And then they have the arrogance to proclaim that this is one of the most successful conservative efforts ever. Which, I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe it is, because like your bar is pretty low, But regardless, this is like objectively not even remotely effective, this boycott. The only people who are even hearing this boycott, if I were to guess, are people who are way far to the right, like insanely far to the right. Because honestly, if you really give that fuck about, like, if you're that transphobic anyway, like, I don't know, man. Shit's crazy. Oh, man. Okay. All right, let me go full cam. Look a little bad in that picture. All right, so what I'm going to do here is take a look really quick. Let me see what else. Or something else. I don't know. No shit, man. No kidding. Okay, so just to illustrate further, if it hasn't been demonstrated already, the disturbing degree of obsession with Dylan Mulvaney. Over 35 New York Post stories about Dylan Mulvaney just the last week in 7 days over a single TikTok promotion. Whoa! Wait, I didn't expect that. Wait, look at these headlines too. Dylan Mulvaney smiles at first appearances Bud Light brouhaha. Like, why is that a story? Go woke or lose bonuses. CEOs are forced into Dylan Mulvaney deal system. NFL draft sponsored by Bud Light amid dude, this is unbelievable. I can't believe. I feel like I'm like living in an alternate universe. Dylan Mulvaney reacts to trolls amid Bud Light controversy. They don't understand me. Like they just nonstop talk about her. This is by the way, I think that part of this is driven by how much money or clicks they're gaining through that kind of like propagation of news. Because like they wouldn't be posting all this shit if there wasn't like a ubiquitous interest among conservatives, right? Among their user base or viewership, whatever. And this has the byproduct of really, really being a liability among conservatives because it really illustrates that they are so upset. Like this could not be more clear. This illustrates how obsessive they are with Dylan in a way that doesn't actually translate, or doesn't translate that well towards the broader discussion about transgenderism. Because Dylan, and I mean, for anyone else who would be none the wiser, they would just assume that this person is just like an actress or whatever who is playing a role in the marketing of a beer company. It's not really a big deal. However, you need to be deep into the Kool-Aid to understand all the talking points associated with the bigoted remarks made by like these pundits or whatever, right? You have to be like deep into the Kool-Aid here. You have to be far, far to the right. And this really is not gonna. I really don't think this is gonna translate well for like to your average person, because again, evidently, through those stock prices that we saw, again, that's not like the perfect like illustration of how successful a boycott is, but it is a thing you can measure. It's not really working, that boycott. So it's not translating super well towards conservative to average Americans, I guess. But it's still interesting to me because, like, again, they wouldn't be pushing the extent of these stories if it weren't for there being some interest in it, right? Because news media is primarily like fueled through the garnering of clicks and the popularity of the kind of stories that they put out there. So with that being said, given how obsessive conservatives have been on Twitter, at least with Dylan, I'm not really super surprised here to see the extent of this many stories being funneled through one single news outlet here, New York Post, which is conservative. Yeah, so I don't know, man. They're going hard in the paint on that. Oh boy. Well, with that being said, I am going to take a quick break, I think, and then I'm going to be back, and then we'll cover some other shit, and I don't even know what else I have to talk about. Forgot what my stream was. I guess I could look it up. Yeah, TYT. Oh yeah, that's right. Fox News. Yep. All right. Well, with that being said, I will continue on after this quick little break. I know I just started, but I will be right back. Just hang tight, and we will get the train rolling again. Let me turn on the music because that was sick. All right. Be right back.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster? With Wix, you can edit your meta tags page by page or all in one go. Modify your URLs, inspect all of them in one click, and more. Save time, customize freely with SEO on Wix.
Real relationships, real experiences. At Hiram, you can be the real you and be really ready for what's next.
Her name is Sadie. I think she might be the one. My God, you're a spy. Are you gonna call me?
Yes, because you texted me 11 times in 2 days.
Ghosted. Rated PG-13. Streaming April 21st on Apple TV+.
Building your online business? Go to Wix.com and set up your store on a single integrated platform. Add products, showcase them dynamically, and seamlessly track your inventory. Accept multiple secure payments, and design your storefront down to the very last detail. Get all the tools you need. Drive more sales with customizable gift cards and flexible product subscriptions. Retain customers with a point-based loyalty program, email automations, and reach millions with sales channel integrations. Complete your setup with a personalized analytics dashboard. Make smart business decisions and shape the next phase of your business. Build, manage, and grow from one place. Go to Wix and launch your online business today.
Alright, I'm back. Better than ever. And we're ready to roll. Yes, you know what? Keep drinking this, and it's not that good. It's not as good as I thought it'd be. I just think it's too syrupy, you know? Either that or tequila isn't as good as I remember it being. Okay. All right, let's focus here. Let us go into the next segment, which shall be trying to remember. Man, I'm really bad. Like, remembering what I'm supposed to be talking about. I'll just talk about whatever I want, I guess. Oh yeah, TYT. Okay. So I don't know how much I would like to belabor this segment here, but basically, Anna Kasparian, who is a member of the Young Turks, has been on Twitter recently, basically making a whole. Well, she's been talking a lot about the language of birthing person as it pertains to describing somebody else, and subsequently. And I know I'm not going to do a great job explaining this because I haven't really been keeping up with it too much, but basically, yeah, she's taken issue with the fact that some people have referred to women as birthing people or a birthing person, and subsequently, many conservatives were in her quote retweets and replies, praising that kind of calling out or whatever, and the language seems to overlap a little bit within the TERF, rhetoric. And there's been, I guess, somewhat of a falling out between her and the left. Don't know if there's a better clip. I have one clip. I probably won't be able to find it, but that's okay. Let's just take a look here. This one, now, it's one thing if, like, you have personal grievances with the way in which women are characterized, right? And that's totally fine. I think that some people were quick to, pull the transphobic card on Anna, like, right off the bat. However, they have consistently been talking about it nonstop for a while, have made this very public in a lot of ways, and it's just the fact of the matter they keep talking about it, and that's annoying. But notwithstanding that, it's gone to the point where it's actually like resulted in her like burning a bridge with the left, I guess. She has said already, I think, that she's done with the left, talking to them, having them on her show, whatever. So that is not really that's kind of disappointing, actually. But let's just take a look at this clip here. So this person says that not only has Anna changed her position on a women erasing language, but she has also realized that the Green New Deal initiatives are absurd after a condo board decided to go into significant debt. Okay, I'm just interested here.
The way that it happens is, I know that in
you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to get copyright struck. Hopefully I won't, but let's do it.
California, at least, with the phasing out of gas-powered cars, and they'll probably do the same thing with gas stoves, is they just ban the sale of any new gas-powered cars or any new gas stoves. And so the technology that you have in your home, the gas stove that you have in your home, if it breaks, not only are you not able to buy a new one, but it gets increasingly more difficult to just repair it. You get what I'm saying? And so, like,
I get it, but that's a bump. That's the normal bumps in the road as you transition to things.
I know, but Cenk, like, don't minimize the financial burdens associated with these things, okay? Because, like, I am literally freaking the fuck out about.
Wait, come on now. Come on. Now, I was about to say before she said that, that she has a good point here. Like, I think that there are financial obstacles pertaining to the transition from a, fossil fuel energy to a, I guess, renewable one, right? There should be a better plan in place to make it where that transition doesn't disproportionately harm people who are, not financially, secure, I guess. Now, obviously, you can't like perfectly encapsulate everybody in that process. There's always going to be somebody who falls through the cracks, but there could be probably, I mean, I don't know exactly the law that she is referring to, but there probably could be better ways of transitioning. And this is actually part of a broader discussion about the transition from the current infrastructure we have in place to a more renewable or green infrastructure, and how that could potentially harm a lot of poor Americans or citizens. So that is a good conversation to have, and I think that she makes a good point with that. But saying like I'm literally freaking the fuck out is kind of crazy, unless she's going to go on and say something else.
Literally freaking the fuck out about the charging station thing. I'm like, it's gonna cost. We're gonna take out a massive fucking loan to pay for it. We're not getting any help from the fucking government on that.
Did you guys ask? Is there any tax credits? But seriously. Seriously, there's no government help at all to transition you guys?
I don't give a fuck about tax credits.
Oh, come. Oh my god, dude. So this is actually worse than I thought it'd be. So it seems like she's principally against, either she's making incoherent argument or she's principally against the idea of transitioning to a greener infrastructure. Now, obviously, there's a long way to go with making renewable infrastructure affordable. I'm not going to disagree with that, but there are definitely things that the government could help there's things that the government could do to help alleviate some of that cost. Tax credits, I mean, intuitively it makes sense to me at least. So I don't know, man. And also, I don't even know if that's true. I'm sure that there would be some tax credits associated with that transition.
No, I'm saying for the HOA.
There's been no talk of tax credits. I haven't seen anything about tax credits. I should look into it. Maybe there are tax credits, but I don't give a fuck about tax credits because you have to shell out cash. Okay? Like, I want to do something in response to climate change. That is not my issue here. My issue is how, like, we're forced to make all these changes that are a financial burden, a giant inconvenience, with like little to no help. And the solution from the government in terms of like, no, you get financial benefits for doing this is fucking tax credits.
There are other financial benefits to transitioning to a greener economy. In the long run, climate change and the consequences of fossil fuels will have negative externalities associated with local communities or the damage to ecological systems. These are things that will certainly play an economic toll or pay an economic toll towards especially local communities and ones that are more not as well built up as larger ones. There are definitely positives down the line with the economics behind transitioning to greener infrastructure. There could definitely be things that could probably be improved upon with the way in which that process takes place. But to me, the language that she's using seems so like it seems like she's against that idea. Like she did say I think that climate change should be like redressed or whatever. And that's great. But like, how are we able to meaningfully redress it if not to get the ball rolling in some way? You're never ever I don't think it's even possible to make it so not a single person doesn't fall through the crack. Because there's always going to be somebody who is burdened by this. But unfortunately, I feel like that's just inevitable. Unless there's a solution that I haven't thought of that will perfectly make it to where everybody can be, included in that transition and won't see any financial hardship. I don't know. Maybe there is, but
no, I don't want the tax credits. Give me the money. Give me the money, okay? Don't tell me this bullshit about how I have to buy like some new fucking thing because the government's forcing me to do it, and then like after I file my taxes, there's a certain portion of that purchase that might be tax deductible. Like fuck off. I'm so sick of it. It's just like endless pressure. I can't take it.
Yeah,
Well, I think that there is an argument to be made about the immediacy or the celerity of transitioning to or to like buying a new car or whatever we're talking about as it pertains to a greener infrastructure, whatever. With that being said, we shouldn't diminish the role or the utility rather of tax credits. I think tax credits are very useful. Obviously, you have to wait until you file your taxes, and even then, there's probably some loopholes that will make you get less on your return. But it's still good. Tax credits are still good in terms of providing some relief to the people who may seek financial hardship as a product of, you know, transitioning to this greener economy. I also don't know if it should be compulsory, if how she is characterizing it is true, to buy this shit, you know, or to do this or that. I don't think it should be compulsory, but I think that there should definitely be incentives tied to, you know, doing things that would help mitigate climate change.
I hear you. And we ask too much of the middle class. We ask too much of the average person.
Oh, the middle class is the most fucked group of people in this country.
No, I hear you on all that. But at some point, we got to go to electric cars. We don't have a choice.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think that there are negative externalities with electric cars as well, because there are power plants that are responsible for providing the charging stations and such, and that increases pollution, and that, you know, that's a whole fucking shit by itself. Unless we transition those power plants to using renewables, in which case that's great. But yeah, I don't know. I just think, honestly, like, why don't we just make mass transit like a whole thing? Electric cars are great, but they're not like the perfect solution. I think that mass transit, or making things where we use less vehicles, would be massively beneficial, and just reimagining the way in which transportation takes place within our world. Using trains, using metro stations, using those kind of things, right? I think that buses are not really that good for transportation. But I think like trains or mass transit, things like that, making cities more walkable, those are all things that you could absolutely integrate into your country, and thus mitigate the effects of climate change, or at least slow down the effects.
Like the plant's burning, so we got to go to electric cars. So when California says, hey, let's go to electric cars by whatever the number is, 2025, et cetera, yeah, it's going to be tough. But,
yeah, and
but at the same time, now prices are coming down, right?
Okay, but Jake, let's not minimize the cost of like actually charging those cars, right? Because here's the other thing. So Gavin Newsom pushes for and succeeds in passing legislation in California that would ban the sale of electric cars at a certain year. I think it is 2025, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not, maybe it's 2035. I don't remember the exact year, but eventually, pretty soon, you're no longer going to be able to buy a gas-powered car in California.
Yeah, so if this is correct, if she's characterizing this completely correct, which I don't know why she wouldn't, but regardless, if that is completely correct, then yeah, that's kind of fucked. Because like, yeah, I mean, like, you can't just like force everybody to use electric car. Like, that's kind of ridiculous. I think that there needs to be heavy incentives associated with it, to where it makes using fuel cars or whatever, non-electric cars, where it makes the maintenance of them and, you know, the service and all that, like, just insufferable. We really just want to incentivize people to not use them. And also, I think the government should fit the bill somewhat with the costs associated with like decreasing the input prices with creating these electric vehicles. Because right now, like, if something fucking breaks on your electric car, dude, that shit costs like thousands of dollars, over $10,000 probably. I don't know, but it's way more fucking expensive than like if a fucking muffler breaks on my 2001 fucking Corolla. So there needs to be some way that we can thread the needle here with lowering the input prices with electric vehicles, the parts associated thereof, and making that transition process easier for everybody. Because, I mean, again, we're never going to be able to include every single person in that process where they're all financially secure, right? Because there's always going to be somebody who can't afford something. But we can definitely do our best. We can get pretty good. And, you know, I would probably have to think about it a little more, but there's definitely things that we could do to improve that.
Literally, like, that same month, Gavin Newsom's like, there's a heat wave and our energy grid really can't handle it. And so I'm just going to ask you guys, if you have electric vehicles, please don't charge them right now. It's just...
No, you can't do that.
All right, cool. Now, this doesn't really pertain to the thing I opened with the birthing person drama. I thought it would, but maybe, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's a better video. Frankly, I just don't really care that much, actually. Basically, the whole discourse has been blown way out of proportion, like a lot of things are. They just, I don't know, they just won't shut up about the fucking discourse. I don't know. Oh boy, but there is also another thing here. Because there's always something, right? Right. I saw this.
Ukrainian air.
Hold on. I don't know if there's much to say about it, but basically Tucker Carlson lies about Ukraine war. He says that this. What did you say? Oh, this is a whole. This is a whole shit, man. The second thing we learn from these slides is that despite direct U.S. involvement, Ukraine is in fact losing the war. 7 Ukrainians are killed for every Russian. Ukrainian air defenses have been utterly degraded. Ukraine is losing.
The second thing we learn from these slides is that despite direct U.S. involvement, Ukraine is in fact losing the war. 7 Ukrainians are being killed for every Russian. Ukrainian air defenses have been utterly degraded.
So this is not true. So this is a larger thread about like this leak apparently that basically tries to reframe the discussion as though this is a war that is really like entrenched in U.S. imperialism or something. I don't know. But the thing about it is like these leaks, these documents were a doctored dossier of from pro-Russian fucking propagandists or whatever, Telegram users. So it inflated the death count of Ukrainians relative to Russians, when in fact the opposite is the case. Once more, excuse me, what was revealed a couple months ago is that Fox News is known to have lied about things they say. This is the main point I'd like to highlight, actually. They openly lie about shit, and they know they're lying. And in this circumstance, I have no reason to believe that they don't also know they're lying here. A recent filing of the this is kind of old news, but it's still relevant because it pertains to this thing about Ukraine. A recent filing of the Dominion Voting Systems lawsuit against Fox News reveals how much the network knew was pushing false claims of its viewership, of its viewers in the aftermath of the 2020 election. In March 2021, Dominion filed a defamation suit against Fox for false claims the network pushed after the election. Those false claims were extensive in the 2-week period after Fox News declared Joe Biden the president-elect. The network questioned the results of the election and pushed conspiracy theories about it almost 800 times, including by using Dominion as a scapegoat. Fox became an outlet that aired Trump campaign lies. This wasn't just exclusive to Fox News as well. Dominion, I believe, filed a cease and desist letter towards Newsmax, and they went on air basically with their tail between their legs saying, sorry, we lied. We actually don't know for sure that this was, yeah. So basically they went back because they didn't want to get sued up the ass. But again, this isn't exclusive to Fox, is the point. far-right news media typically lies about things knowingly. It's just about serving the broader interests of the ideology or the party. For Dominion-approved defamation, the company must show that Fox acted with actual malice, meaning that Fox knew the allegations about the Dominion were false. This is a really, really high bar, by the way, to clear. Keep that in mind. Or that Fox acted in reckless disregard for the truth. On the 16th of February, Dominion's brief calling for summary judgment in the favor was released to public as Dominion detailed the filing. Literally dozen people were with editorial responsibility from the top of the organization to producers themselves acted with actual malice. Here are some of the damning quotes from the filing showing how much Fox executives and Fox employees knew they were lying about Dominion. Okay. Fox star Tucker Carlson to his producer about Sidney Powell, one of Trump's campaign lawyers. Powell is lying. Host Laura Ingraham to Carlson to fellow host Sean Hannity. Sidney Powell is a bit nuts, but sorry, but she is. Carlson to Ingraham. Sidney Powell is lying, by the way. I caught her. It's insane. Ingraham replied, Sidney is a complete nut. Wow, okay. No one will ever work with her. Ditto with Rudy. Carlson replied, it's unbelievably offensive to me. Our viewers are good people and they believe it. The chairman, Jesus, Rupert Murdoch himself in the flesh. Really crazy stuff. Murdoch, after watching Giuliani and Powell, and I've heard terrible stuff, damaging everybody, I fear. Yes, Sean Hannity and even Jeannie Pirro agrees. So basically, yeah, we have some evidence here basically confirming the fact that people at Fox News, including the producers, and apparently Rupert Murdoch, the Fox corporate chairman, knowingly lies about shit, but they propagate it anyway. The reason why is because they don't actually give a fuck about journalism. They more so care about propagating conspiracy theories and propagating the narratives, and that's really all that matters to them. Anyway, again, I see no difference there with why this could not also be the case, because this is a blatantly misrepresentative, or rather misinterpreted, part of the leaks here. I'm a little interested to hear that. Holy shit, 10 minutes. Tucker Carlson's monologue in the leak. He wasn't done. The slide show that it's not Ukraine war, it's our war. The United States is direct combat with you. All right, I'll watch a little bit here.
Things about the war in Ukraine. The first is that the war in Ukraine is a war of national sovereignty. It is not a proxy battle between superpowers. Russia invaded Ukraine. That was immoral. The United States supports Ukraine because the United States supports democracy. But the United States itself is not at war with Russia. This is Ukraine's war to fight.
Okay, so everything he has said up to this point has been pretty accurate. I don't know if he's trying to set the stage for why that is not the correct narrative. I guess we'll find out.
The second thing we have heard over and over again is that Ukraine is winning that war. Ukrainian troops are brave and noble.
Well, objectively speaking, Ukraine is kind of actually winning the war. Now, to be fair, they have received plenty of aid from, the EU and the United States, but it doesn't matter because they're still winning. I mean, again, the document that they use here is a doctored document from pro-Russian Telegram users. So this is by no means a reliable source. It's interesting, however, that conservatives are eager to just eat up all the propaganda from Russia, almost as if they just relate to, I guess, the plight of the Russian Empire. Probably because they both share something very similar here. In this case, nationalism.
Troops are evil and incompetent. The Ukrainians are beating the Russians. In the end, their victory is inevitable. Now, you're very familiar with these points because you have heard them every day since last February. You've heard them repeated by every power center in the United States, the Pentagon, the White House, the leaders of both parties in Congress.
Placating to conspiracy theories as though the deep state is manipulating your mind and the media in order to manufacture consent for a war that the United States is not directly involved in. The United States is certainly sending aid to Ukraine. That's definitely taking place. But placating to this broader conspiracy that the deep state is orchestrating this war, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
CEOs and celebrities. And most insistently of all, you've heard them from virtually every single outlet along the entire spectrum of our national news media.
That's absolutely not the case. Has this guy ever looked at or perused the Gray Zone? That fucking website? Or like Jimmy Dore? Anyone?
These are the two essential themes of the war in Ukraine, and both of them are lies. We know that they're lies because late last week, leaked intelligence about the war in Ukraine began to appear on social media.
Again, this leak is a pro-Russian doctored telegram. It was orchestrated from pro-Russian Telegram users. These leaks are doctored. They are not like true. It is important to keep that in mind because it reframes the discussion, and you can utilize it for Tucker Carlson's sake. You can utilize this to propagate your own narrative or your own conspiracy.
Briefing slides prepared by the U.S. government began to show up, among other places, on Twitter. And the slides show that this is, in fact, not Ukraine's war. It's our war. The United States is a direct combatant in a war against Russia.
Now, I don't know what he means by direct in this instance. When I think about direct combatant, I think about somebody who sends like ground troops into a war. Sending aid to Ukraine is not the same as being a direct combatant.
As we speak, American soldiers are fighting Russian soldiers.
Okay.
So this is not a regional conflict in Eastern Europe. This is a hot war between the two primary nuclear superpowers on Earth. And
that's not happening. Dude, this is a war between... I guess I could be wrong. I don't know for sure, but like, no. I don't think that there are American troops shooting at Russian troops. Pretty sure that's not happening. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm like 99% I'm not.
And yet this war has never been formally declared. It has not been authorized by Congress.
This is kind of unrelated, but technically the war between Japan and Russia has never been like resolved either, right? But after World War II, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah, I don't know. Just a fun fact.
And for that reason, this war is a violation of American law. It is a crime. The second thing that we learned from these slides is that despite direct U.S. involvement, Ukraine is in fact losing the war. 7 Ukrainians are being killed for every Russian.
That's wrong.
Ukrainian air defenses have been utterly degraded. Ukraine,
again, we already went over that, but that is incorrect.
Is losing. The Biden administration is perfectly aware of this. They're panicked about it, but they have lied about this fact to the public. Just 2 weeks ago, for example, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin told the U.S. Senate that Russian military power is, quote, waning. In other words, Russia is losing the war. That was a lie. He knew it was when he said it, but he repeated it in congressional testimony. That is a crime.
Okay.
But Lloyd Austin has not been arrested for committing that crime. Instead, the only man who has been taken into custody, or likely ever will be, is a 21-year-old Massachusetts Air National Guardsman who leaked the slides that showed that Lloyd Austin was lying. He revealed the crimes, therefore he's the criminal. That's how Washington...
Wait, hold on. Yeah, wait, hold on. Wait. He didn't just leak... Wait, hold on. He leaked documents that were classified. That does necessitate apprehension. Yeah. Yeah, 100%, yes.
Washington works. Telling the truth is the only real sin.
Well, if you're violating law, and if the violation of law results in you being arrested, then there's nothing being done that's wrong here, right? Like from a procedural standpoint. I guess we could hash out whether or not this should be a law or not, but whatever.
Now, our news media exist and have constitutional protection precisely in order to push back against this grotesque standard.
That's absolutely not true.
Their only job is to tell the truth.
That's also not true.
And yet tonight, the news media are celebrating the capture of the kid who told Americans what's actually happening in Ukraine. They are treating him like Osama bin Laden, maybe a little worse, actually, because
okay, come on.
Unlike Al-Qaeda, apparently this kid is a racist. Here's CNN.
Oh man, I would love to hear
the
this.
Washington Post, as you know, reviewed video of this suspect yelling racial and anti-Semitic slurs.
Is this a dangerous person?
Wait, if you have him on video yelling racial slurs, I don't think it's unreasonable to conclude that person's racist. Like, if they meaningfully, like, if they mean it when they say it, yeah.
Guardsman who's now been taken into custody.
The implication here that this is a woke thing that like they're trying to like double down because he's also racist is kind of ridiculous.
Talked about being a gun enthusiast, had been at gun ranges. He's obviously a member of the military.
And he's the big guy in the scene. Somehow he has access to this kind of information, and that makes him even larger.
The person who thinks they know better than everyone else, they're smarter than everyone else in their view.
That this is a 21-year-old man. He's described as a gun.
I too like cutting together clips to make the representation of a news media or a certain person look worse than it actually is.
Enthusiast. Feels like in some of these descriptions, somebody who's maybe hungry for power.
Maybe.
So this 21-year-old Air National Guardsman
Dude, how long do I have to... Do I really have to watch this whole thing?
from Massachusetts is not a whistleblower, CNN explains, with the help of the many intelligence.
Wait, is it... Wait, does Tucker think it's impossible for somebody to be a racist and also a whistleblower?
Agency figures it is now hired as analysts. No, he's not a whistleblower. He's a criminal. Because he is, unlike the people who run our government...
Wait, dude, it depends on which... Oh, God, he's so annoying to listen to. If you leak classified documents or you leak military intelligence, don't clutch your fucking pearls when you get arrested for it. Like, what does he expect? Like, yeah, no shit, dude. You're gonna get arrested.
Hungry for power. And because this 21-year-old was so hungry for power, federal law enforcement had to swing into action with unfamiliar speed and efficiency and apprehend him. He was that threatening.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, as of tonight, we still don't know where Jeffrey Epstein got hundreds of millions of dollars. We have no...
Okay, I'm done with this. I think we kind of get the understanding here. But basically, yeah, the intelligence that was leaked here, okay, was... Once again, the leak was documents from a pro-Russian Telegram user. Like, yes, they are gonna, like, this is not gonna be the most reliable shit. But anyway, yeah. The war in Ukraine. I just think it's like interesting how like conservatives are willing to jump down the throat and lick the boots of Putin, who is universally himself hates America. And like they'll continue to do that in spite of that fact. Like this is the same party that likes to try like America first, America's the best, blah, blah, blah. But then they'll like lick the boots and like get every crevice like in the grooves of their like soul to somehow like because like he's I guess a far right person. I don't know. In spite of the fact that he hates America. Incredible. All right, well, I don't know, man. Let's see here. There's always so much crazy shit going on. It's, I don't know. Sometimes it's good to take a break, though, just, like, kind of, unplug from everything. Yeah, I don't know. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. At this point, it's just, I don't know. Oh yeah, Steven Crowder got banned from Reddit. Saw that. I mean, that's pretty, based, am I right? Ugh. Okay.
Well, folks.
Shut up. Alright, well, I suppose now would be a better time than any to probably open this up. All right, you know what? I think I'm actually gonna. I think I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah, kind of a short stream today, but that's all right. I'm gonna go, but hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week, which will be Earth Day. Wait, I think I got some shit going on next week. Yeah, you know what? I probably won't. I probably won't stream next week, but the week after I should be good. So with that being said, I shall see you guys hopefully in 2 weeks from now. And that'll be that. All right, cool.